Hello, my name is Richard Albert. Along with Tom Ginsberg and David Landau, I'm a founding co-editor of iConnect. And welcome to our series on 5 questions. 5 questions that we ask to a scholar about his, or in this case, her, work. And today I'm joined by Antonia Baraggia, Assistant Professor of Comparative Law at the University of Milan. And I'm going to ask Antonia 5 questions about what she writes, how she writes, and about her influences as a scholar. Antonia, thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Richard.
So let's begin with the first question, Antonia. What are you researching and writing right now?
Right now, I'm working on 2 main projects. One is about fiscal federalism and solidarity and economic inequality in comparative perspective. And the second one, which is related to the first one, is about the use of conditionality, of the different kind of conditionality in the EU legal system and in the future of EU governance. I'm also writing a paper on human dignity and the use of human dignity by Supreme Court during the Euro crisis, and also a book chapter on the impact of global administrative law on the separation of powers at national level. I'm also editing 2 special issues. The first one to be published on Diritti Comparati, edited together with Ran Hirsch, Mark Graeber, and Lorenza Violini on economic inequality. And the second one on the Italian Journal of Public Law, focused on Professor Bruce Ackerman's book, The Rise of World Constitutionalism, Revolutionary Constitution, and it will feature several contributions by prominent Italian legal scholars on the different chapters of Professor Ackerman's book.
You have a lot on your plate. With all you have on your plate, how and when do you write? Do you have a routine, or do you write whenever or wherever you find the time to do it?
I would like to have a routine. I think it would help, especially in time when I experience a kind of writing block. But with 3 little children, it's almost impossible to have a routine. The positive side all of this is that I can write everywhere, especially when I am under pressure, so when deadlines are approaching. I prefer to write at home, late at night or very early in the morning. And also when I travel, I find time to work and to write. I love writing in coffee shops, on the plane, on trains. So this is my attitude to writing.
And can you tell us, when did you know that you wanted to be a law professor?
Well, when I started my bachelor degree, I wanted to become an anthropologist. But soon after my first law class, public law, I realized that I wanted to study in depth public law. And while doing my PhD in public law, I had the chance to spend 2 years in the US. And there I attended my first international conference as a speaker, meeting younger and older colleagues. And I realized to be part of an extraordinary and lively community of legal scholars. And I definitely decided that I wanted to become a law professor. So it has been for me the result of some fundamental meetings, events, special people, and extraordinary opportunities I had in my life, first as a student and then as a young scholar. And also, this is why I value a lot the opportunities given to the youngest and try to help now and to advise younger scholars whenever I can. Course.
Well, yes, you are on the executive board of the Younger Comparatives Committee, and so you are now doing what it is that you benefited from yourself many years ago.
I tried to, yes.
Let's go back to when you were a student, Antonia. Is there an article from that time or a book in that time that was particularly influential to you then and that today remains important to you in your work and how you think about law, public law?
Yes, there are many. Certainly, Professor Bognetti, Separation of Powers, And also Jeremy Waldron, Law and Disagreement, and also Professor Birkenförde, State, Constitution and Democracy, a collection of several articles on constitutional theory, constitutional power and democracy. All of them are still a constant source of inspiration to me. And I also would like to mention another book, a novel by Joseph Roth. The title is Job, the story of a simple man, and it is a reflection on the human condition, especially of the marginal people, of the unfortunate in time of transition, in time of crisis. It is about identity, the sense of loss in revolutionary times, about love and desire of justice. Very common experiences also in our contemporary time. So it is a real masterpiece.
Thanks for that list. You mentioned one book in particular by Bognetti. I know that you have translated that book into English.
Yes. I owe a translation of Professor Bognetti book because it has been really important for my studies. Yeah.
So last question, Antonia. You've written a lot of articles and chapters and in fact books that you've written. Is there one in particular, one that is dearest to you, maybe most important to you, maybe your favorite that you can tell us about? And then with your permission, I'll put a link to your favorite publication, book, article, chapter, whatever, on the blog so that our readers can go and read it and learn more about you and your work.
Yes, so each publication has its own story, and each of them makes a step in my career, in my academic path. So each of them are important itself. But I would say that my first publication in English is probably the most important to me. It is Conditionality Measure within the Euro Area Crisis, a challenge to the democratic principle, published in 2015 by the Cambridge Journal of International and Comparative Law. With this article, I started a stream of research that is still ongoing, so it's also important for this. I find really fascinating the multiple and still under-theorized challenges that the conditionality principle poses both to the European Union level and to the national constitutional system.
Okay, well, we'll be happy to put that link when we post this interview for our readers. I note, Antonia, that you are also principal investigator of a new project called Confederal, which deals with fiscal federalism. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Can you tell us a bit about that project before we go?
Yes, it's a project aimed to explore the role of conditional grants in federal system. So the basic idea is that we look at conditionality at international level, the IMF conditionality, World Bank conditionality, but we have also a constitutional conditionality, and it is a matter quite unexplored yet.
Oh, well, wonderful. We wish you luck in that project and your many other projects, Antonia. And also good luck in March when you'll be a visiting professor at the Max Planck Institute. Congratulations. And thank you for spending this time with us, Antonia Baraggia, Assistant Professor of Comparative Law at the University of Milan.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.